Well, it looks like I lied. There is another episode. This one is the pistons, getting the pistons in, and I think that is really the last one before we can put the engine back together again. Let's see how we get on. I don't think it's going to go perfectly.
It says the machine.
I want to record this to make sure I get them all the right way. I've done a few preliminary measurements and stuck some of these rings in the engine, and they're now within tolerance. So let's see what we can do. So the first one to put in is the oil control ring, and from what I've read, they're supposed to butt up rather than overlap, and these go in first, and then there's little ridges on them. Saw a great self-help video about putting these in, so those little ridges go underneath these spring rings here. This unfortunately is a little bit rusty, but it's just surface rust, I think. Oh, let's put it in, see how it goes. So that one goes in there like that, and I guess it's then compresses down like a concertina. And then these, yeah, they don't have any markings on, so I'm just gonna, actually I'm gonna use my my O-ring, not O-ring, my whatever, what do you call them, piston ring pliers, to get them up. And then to get that underneath, right, pig's ear of this, mind of their own. All right, so that's going in there like that, and in. That's one. Interesting. And then this one goes on the top. Terribly easily, and then at the end of this one, we've got some complicated shit to do with twisting them round so the gaps aren't in, but that one's in nicely. Very satisfying. This is ring 2. Helpful little idiots going there. And then top. So make sure this goes into the top. That's in. And that, when compressed, if my measurements are correct, will go down to 0.3 of a millimetre. Or is it 0.03 or whatever the spec is? Like a tiny gap. Does look a bit big though. Still. And then, oh, there's a top mark on this one too, and that's number 3, which is on the top. And that says top. If I don't say it, I'm gonna worry that I didn't put them in the right way. They're big. Oh, I bought And they're going to go in, but it's going to be tricky. Still says standard. I think it's a standard gauge. Dimension. 928S, 4.7 litre. Just have to assume they're fine. This is quite interesting. I don't know if you can see, but those oil holes are blocked up. Just doing a final clean and just cleaning out these, yeah. All these significant amounts of shit in them. Maybe that's corrosion. This is number 5, which was the most damaged one. I'm going to clean those out. God, it's just... Oh, no, that's perfect size. So that's clear. That's clear. Oh, let's tight that one. What is that? I guess that's watery crap that's in there. I'll do a bit more work on that, but some of them are free running. Others are not. There's acres of crap in there. Today is piston day, so I've got them all laid out here. They've all got new rings installed, and today I'm going to put them into the engine. But first I've got to go through them again to make sure that I've got the right rings in the right places and the right way up. Then I've got to arrange them according to the manual to make sure that they fit into the engine with the ring gaps offset, I guess, to provide the most tortuous leak pathway when they're installed. Let's see how it goes. Yes, apparently this has to be done with feeling, not brute force. That's what it says in the workshop manual. Very un-Germanic, I thought, that one, but quite a nice sentence. So yeah, got to take it easy. Back to where we started. So my possibly ruined bores, and I've just cleaned this surface. I'll probably go over it again just before I put the head gasket on. Right, let's start getting the pistons in again. Okay, need to get the piston compressor on. Make sure top ring, profile ring. And these are kind of 180 opposite. Let's get the piston ring compressor on. Just going to lift that slightly. Right. That's tight, lubricated. A bit more. Yes. Right. Knocking stick. It's pointing towards centre. think it's just about going to go. Oh, I can see, yeah. Right. I think it's good. My gut feeling is that should have gone in by now. See where we're stuck. Yeah. But it's kind of in. Not hung up anywhere. I want that. I mean, it's in. Oh, there we go. Right. Okay, there's the bottom. Just put. It's so cold today. Put a bit more assembly lube on. It's like glue. I don't know when I'm going to be starting this up, so let's just check the markings. Just like we were before. It's on. Just check the bearing is in nicely. Yeah. Right, it's number 1 in. And so if I read correctly, the backs of these are not serrated, so they've got a certain torque setting. That's what it says in the workshop manual. So we'll do that. Lovely workshop conditions, proper laboratory stuff. Right, go and find the torque wrench and torque them up. Oh, that went really wrong. I've chipped the ends of number 2 ring on that one. I think what I might have to do is go through the old rings and find one that is as close to tolerance and reuse that. Oh, that's really annoying. One's back in. I've refined my technique, and I've put the old second ring in. We'll see, I guess. I'm not happy. I think I might buy another second ring if I can and replace it. Anyway, for now, I'm going to do the rest. Get them in. Just as an end to the piston ring saga, I took them all out again and redid the rings and just made sure that all the gaps were offset and that there was no damage, because I was a bit worried when I was putting them in that I might have damaged them like I did the first one, but they're all great. And so now all I've got to do is get a new number 2 ring for this one, replace them, and then those are done. And it's all gone together pretty well. It's quite tight to turn over, but I think that's because the assembly lube is really cold. It's about 0 degrees at the moment. So anyway, I can forget about the pistons and the cylinders for now. What's done is done. My dodgy cylinder honing, lapping procedure. We'll see if that works. I mean, like I said in previously, I think the oil is clinging to the walls quite nicely, so we'll see. My replacement set of rings have arrived to replace the number 2 ring that I broke when I was fitting them. So essentially I've paid 40 quid just for that one there, which is annoying, but I guess it's 40 quid that I don't have to worry about in terms of like having an undersized piston ring. It is those number 2 ones that have the close gap when you put them in, even when they're new, it seems. So yeah, the right thing to do. I hope you cringed as much as I did watching me whack that piston into the block and breaking the piston ring. It was excruciating. And then there was quite a long wait until I got round to buying the second set of rings and putting them in. But they're in, the engine goes round, and there's not a lot more I can do now except button it all up and put the engine back together again. So that will be the next episode.